See what time you can see the missing person.
Right, so I just thought I'd check in. I will share this to the group. I don't know where to look. I keep doing this. No wonder I keep getting notes on my self-tapes for where I'm looking. Okay, so this is just a quick check-in. Just because I'm gonna do a video, I think, with Anna. Over the weekend. Regarding the...
I'm hungry.
I don't know if this is on, actually. Have I done that? Is that right? Oh, right, okay.
Oh.
I don't know if I've done it right.
Well, you should have me in it.
All right, I think I've done it right. Okay. Right, okay. So, I don't know if anybody was watching this afternoon, but the CEO of Bipolar UK did an online chat. He's doing one every week, Simon Kitchen. And he basically went through the mood scale to identify, obviously, your moods with bipolar. Not everybody obviously has bipolar, but everybody at this time is probably going through really severe different mood changes. And I just thought that I would go through this mood scale just very briefly with people, just because, well, I think it's quite important. It is for me because it actually helps me kind of establish where I am or where I'm at with my moods. Because my moods can change quite frequently. I've had what I would probably call more of cycling over the last 18 months. So I just want to go through this mood scale with people because it can't necessarily just mean that it's with bipolar. I think at this moment in time, people's moods and emotions are going to be a lot more intensified than what they would be normally, which is totally understandable given what is going on. So if anybody does want to download the mood scale, I have posted it to my group, Bipolar Brand of the Twos, to help with your mental health illness. And I think it just kind of gives you a bit more of an awareness of, okay, this is where I'm at. Like, I went into a low, I think it was about a day ago. So I've been sleeping a lot more, been really lethargic, but because of obviously I've dealt with this for so many years, I'm quite stubborn with it and I will try and kind of fight it. So whereas normally people obviously go on medication, which some people really do need to do, and at some points I have had to, my medication is dragging myself up to do a FaceTime and do a training session and then eat 3 meals a day. So I'm going to just go through this mood scale. I have posted it. And it's not necessary. It is mainly for obviously people that suffer with bipolar disorder. But I just think at this current time, if you can identify where you're at and what you're feeling, and be able to keep maybe a mood journal, you can, or triggers of certain situations in the house, maybe if your spouse or somebody's getting to you, you can feel it coming on. So I'm going to go through it. So this is a mood scale. I use this mood scale. So most people are generally in a balanced mood between a 4 and a 6. So say for instance something happens, or you're feeling a bit not yourself, you're probably being about a 4, which is slight withdrawal from social situations, concentration less than usual, slight agitation. So generally most people will feel like that, especially at this time. So you will probably be feeling at some point during this lockdown a 4. But that still comes under a balanced mood. It's a normal human emotion. So that's a 4, where it's like withdrawal from social situations. I mean, it's quite not the right probably phrase to use at the moment because we're all withdrawn from social situations. But also, your mind and your body can get adapted to a certain way of living very quickly. You know, over a 30-day period. So, you know, after this, people might, when they do have to start going back to their routine and normality, etc., that might cause disruption in their mood or anxiety. So that's something to be mindful about and to be aware of. A 5 is mood imbalance. So no symptoms of depression or mania. Life is good, well, and the outlook is good. So it's quite balanced. I kind of dream of that pretty much every day. That's what I kind of fight for every day, to be fair. And number 6, self-esteem, optimistic, sociable, articulate. Well, not very fucking articulate, but good decisions and get work done. I would say I was at a 6 at the beginning of the year. Yeah, I would say I was at a 6 at the beginning of the year. I think if I looked at my journal, I was probably more of a 6. Because I was doing what I loved, and I think that's a massive thing. I think that's a huge, huge thing for people. If you're doing something that you love, it changes. I believe that anyway. Okay, so I'm just gonna move down and then move back up. So that's a balanced mood. Like I said, you can get this off the website. So mild to moderate depression, everybody's experienced this at probably some stage, and people are probably maybe going through this right now. So number 3 is feelings of panic, anxiety, concentration difficulty, and memory poor, some comfort in routine. You are all going to be going through this right now. This is going to be completely normal, given the circumstances and the situations, because we're not used to this. Well, you're not used to this. I'm kind of used to this. So, again, writing that down, making a note of that. Okay, that's how I feel today. And to be mindful of it and kind of catch it quick, because if you don't, then it can go into a 2, which is then slow thinking, appetite stops, needs to be alone, sleep excessive or difficult, everything's a struggle. So over the last couple of days, everything has been a fucking struggle, basically. To the point I just sat outside in the garden and listened to meditation for 4 hours yesterday. And sometimes I have to do that, and that's just it now, and I don't beat myself up about it. But for somebody that's not been in that or experienced that severity of depression, and maybe going through that now because of the circumstances that we're in, can obviously be very, very difficult for them. And what I would say is try to keep to a routine as much as you possibly can. I find it really difficult to keep a routine, just because my moods obviously aren't regular. My moods change quite at speed. My moods change where, say for instance, I could just be literally sat doing something and nothing outside of me has caused me to dip, and my energy level will just literally go. It's like a bit, I can imagine somebody that has diabetes and their blood sugar just drops, or if you've ever been in the gym and you've done too much and you just kind of go woof. I can literally just do that. My mood can just do that. And I think it's important to bring awareness to this, because I don't necessarily think I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and I said I think a lot more people are going to come out of this with more mental health issues than what people expect. But it isn't. It is horrific. But there is ways to be able to manage it. A 1 won't apply to many people. But again, because of what's going on, it can. And a 1 is feelings of hopelessness, guilt, thoughts of suicide, little movement, impossible to do anything. So it's basically when you can't move out of bed or do anything, your mind physically stops you. And then a 0 is endless suicidal thoughts, no way out, no movement, everything is black, and it always will be like this. So obviously I have experienced every single number of those at some point. And I hope that no one ever gets to a 1 or a 0. But, you know, even though like bipolar can be genetic and it's something that people can get later on in life, it can also be caused by severe trauma or severe life changes. So, you know, there could be people in the early 20s, late 20s, early 30s that, you know, are suffering slight depressions, slight mood disorders that don't have any awareness of this. And something like this could really, really bring it out. Which, you know, because for me, I didn't get properly diagnosed until after I had Luciano. So I just think it's really important at this time, and this isn't me kind of promoting the Speak Out Like Brenda campaign, but it is kind of keep a journal, even if it is just a mood journal, of where you're at each day. And maybe not even, if you can't keep a journal, keep a mindful journal of it. Okay, so moving from the depression up from the balanced mood, I have hypermania quite a lot. Very productive, everything is excessive, phone calls, writing, smoking, tea, charming and talkative. I get hypermania quite a lot. And I will write and publish a book in a year when I can't even spell my own name. I'll ring people 30 times a day asking them the same thing.
That's true.
It's very true, yeah. Hypermania, I love hypermania.
I'm very sorry for saying that, but yeah.
But it is something that you need to kind of, if you can kind of get a hold of hypermania, it's really difficult, I think, hypermania, because sometimes for me, I just think, oh, I'm just in a really good mood. Sorry, I just need to move. I'm just in a really, really good mood. I'm just getting loads of stuff done, like, you know, and people will say, God, you know, you knock doors down and you this and you that. But when you're in that hypermania state, it will, for me, always come with a real big drop. And some people probably will never experience that. Most people that are watching will probably suffer with more of the anxiety and the depression side in this circumstance. But hypermania is literally where you can survive off a couple of hours of sleep and you will want to change the world, and you pretty much think you can. And you don't do a bad job of actually doing it either. So that's a 7. An 8 in hypermania is inflated self-esteem, rapid thoughts and speech, counterproductive stimulation tax. The thing is with hypermania, when it goes into an 8, for me, it can be quite overwhelming for people. It can be too much. And also, what it doesn't actually say on this mood scale, but hypermania can cause a lot of agitation because your energy's going that fast, your mind's going that fast that you get really agitated if you can't get everything done that you want to get done. And then it goes into a 9 which then comes under mania, which not anybody probably, unless they do have a chemical imbalance, will suffer with this, but I do. I've not suffered with mania a huge amount. I have done over the past 2 years. I've probably had 2 of the biggest mania episodes over the last 24 months. So mania is where you lose touch with reality, no sleep, paranoid, and reckless behaviour. And then it can then go into a 10 where you completely total loss of judgment. People can relate it to like, you start getting like hallucinations and stuff like that. It can slip very, very quickly from hypomania into mania. And I think that's quite important for people to be aware of, because I can literally sometimes think that I'm just in a really, really hyperactive mood, and at certain times it has slipped where I've gone and lost touch with reality. So a lot of that will not apply to most people, and I don't want to put the shits up anyone at all, but the mild to moderate depression and severe depression and the hypomania may start to apply to people during this time. So it is something that I would suggest keeping an eye on, especially if you are in your late 20s, early 30s, and you have suffered with mental health. The mood scale is posted. I will post this to my group now. And if anybody's obviously got any questions, do feel free to pop them across to me. I will be doing a live. I think I'm probably aiming for Sunday if people follow me on Instagram. With Anna Mason, who is, she was actually the idea behind Speak Out Like Brenda, which is obviously brought in some amazing talent and interest, and obviously we've got now Bipolar UK on board with it next week. They're kind of taking over with that next week, which is going to be great. They're bringing more people, looking to bring more people on board to read out of the book. So we will be doing a live and checking in with people on that. I think because we can't do a double thing on here, it will more than likely be on Instagram. So it's little Tasha Lucci will probably be doing it off. So that's basically it. I just wanted to check in and basically share that, because it just, when Simon did it today, I just thought, you know what, people need to be aware of that. And you know, it's difficult because sometimes you don't understand why you feel the way you feel. I'm doing an anxiety course at the moment with an amazing lady, because I'm struggling with not so much anxiety, but anxiety towards doing certain things that I don't want to do. But you know, it's me, so there's always, as much as it's like a double-edged sword with me, as one thing goes right, then I'm always looking for something to go wrong. So I'm on a new course now doing that. Anyway, I'm waffling. I've posted the mood board to the group. If I've not, I will post it. But if anybody does have any questions, do feel free to drop me a message. And obviously, like I say, you know, speak out and talk. I was really lucky at Christmas. And I'm lucky at the moment as well, because there's people that I can talk to openly, and I can say, you know what, I'm not in a good, my mood's not great. And it kind of loses its power when you actually say it. Do you know what I mean? When you go, actually, no, I'm not mentally, I'm not actually like good today. So I think I posted something in my group the other day where I was like, I used to lie to my trainer, and and say I was ill, or I was tired, or I had headache, or I wouldn't turn up because I felt sick. Sorry, I'm really uncomfortable sat here like this. Are you alive, Kelly Holly?
Right, Kelly. And I said I'll pop my head in a few times.
He's popping his head in now because his best mate's come on. There you go.
I'm alive.
I'm alive. We've just been talking about Sainsbury's deliveries all day, nothing else. It's not like us, really. Yeah, so, yeah, and then I just started being honest with him. I started being honest. I think I kind of had to be when I started pissing myself with anxiety, so I didn't have a choice. But yeah, I'm just really honest with him now. But you know what that honesty's given me? That honesty is also, he's reading something at the minute I read years ago called The Chimp Paradox, and he's really got into it. And I think what the honesty gives you when you're very open about how you feel or how you're feeling is it, like I've said, it loses that control. And this, twice this week, I'm, I might seem okay now. My mood's risen up a little bit. But 2 mornings I've wanted to send a message and say I'm not going to train. And it's not the greatest, I'm rolling out of bed at 8:30 and I'm training in my pyjamas, but I'm not staying in bed. Yeah, I'm getting back in bed at 1 o'clock and sleeping for 2 hours, but that's just the way that it is at the minute. And
I'm not waking me up.
I just have to accept it. But I think being honest about it and talking about it, and I know it's bullshit when people say, talk about how you feel and tell people how you feel. But I think it's important you talk to the right people, and people that you can trust, and people that have some sort of understanding towards it, I think is important. And that's why I would recommend going online and going onto the peer groups and stuff like that. Because sometimes, especially for me, I've had people really close to me that don't understand, that they just don't get it. And it's not their fault, it's just they don't. Whereas, if you are talking to somebody that has been through or is going through what you're going through, I find it really helpful to speak to people from from Bipolar UK and from Time to Change. It helped me a lot. Right, so I'm going to cut off. Please, if you're on Twitter, please head over to Twitter and follow Speak Out Like Brenda, follow Bipolar UK, and follow myself, myself and Bipolar Brenda and Natasha Ray. Follow it all next week. They're recruiting more actors. We've got more actors in the pipeline. Well, we've got more actually, but we're just kind of spreading them out now instead of putting them all out there at once. And yeah, we've got more things to come with the campaign. Some really exciting things coming. Some things that I've decided on and wondering how I'm going to do it, but I will, because I will. But yeah, like I said, anybody's got any questions, I'm going to post this to the group, and I'm going to post the mood scale as well. Okay. Enjoy your Friday night. Don't drink too much. And I shall check in with you. It'll probably be Sunday. If anybody does know how you do a split video live with somebody else, please do let me know. Because it would quite be beneficial to be able to do that on Sunday with Anna. Just because it was her baby, Speak Out Like Brenda. And she deserves a huge amount of credit for it. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to go. I'm going to message you now, Kelly Hollis. But yeah, ciao for now. How do I turn this off now? Oh.